Hi, my name is Scott Elliott. Thank you for joining me at a God Vlog. I am the pastor here at First Congregational United Church of Christ in Mount Vernon, Ohio, and I'm doing a series of Lenten vlogs for 2001 while COVID pandemic is still going on, and many of us are still at home. Although a lot of us are starting to get those vaccinations, and I say woohoo to that. Thank you, God, for all of those working to get those vaccines to us at the local and the national level. It's been quite inspiring and powerful to watch that unfold. And thank you for those who are getting the vaccine too and helping out. I wanted to talk today about the loving God that I found at church. People are sometimes amazed that you can find a loving God at church, which breaks my heart because many churches, God can be found there. That God is talked about and preached and worshipped and experienced. The loving God, honest. I found that God at church, and it will seem maybe even an odder way for a Christian minister to start a vlog on God, but I'm going to admit that I'm an atheist to gods who are unloving and unforgiving. Such atheism caused me to leave church in my teens, obviously a long time ago, and not return for I think more than 20 years. And like many Americans, I left a church because my experiences of Christianity at the time didn't focus on the inclusive love. Instead, I experienced judgment and exclusion based on what seemed to be the worship of a God who was unloving and forgiving. That type of God I've become an atheist toward. And rightly or wrongly, the message I heard was believe at this as this church believes, or be damned. God's love is limited to those like us. And although I am now an atheist to gods of limited love, I'm not an atheist. I'm a theist through and through. And while I reject the existence of an unloving and unforgiving God, I passionately believe in an always loving and forgiving God. Simply put, I believe in the God of love, the God of Jesus. And I happened to discover that this is the God of Jesus when I decided one day to end my 20-year or so wandering away from Christianity by giving it another try. A step that I highly recommend to anyone looking for a way to God. My church and other progressive churches would welcome your visit, I promise you. One day, this is how it happened to me. Even though I was an avowed atheist to the angry God I left, I wandered into one of these progressive churches that I'm talking about. And the church that I was led to didn't threaten me with hell if I didn't believe as they did. They didn't teach about a God who was unloving and unforgiving. Quite the contrary. What they taught was a 2,000-year-old way of understanding God is love. The essence of this way is a belief in that love, a belief that each person is loved, and a belief that we are all called to be love out in the world. And that 2,000-year-old way of understanding God was, I learned, taught, and practiced by Jesus, the Jesus of history that I talk about in the last vlog, and the men and women who were his disciples also practiced it. It was written and shared in the Gospels and in Paul's epistles, and it's been talked about and shared and practiced ever since by many churches and many Christians. You see, the Bible claims God is love, and that God's love is steadfast and forever. It has no strings attached. Moreover, the New Testament records in no uncertain terms that Jesus declared the supreme commandments are to love God and love others. And they also teach us, the New Testament teaches us that Jesus taught that those supreme commands are to govern every moment in our lives. And after I found church again, I came to believe the love-centered way of Jesus was a way to experience God and to be saved, not from hell, but from the lesser person I'd otherwise be and the lesser world we'd otherwise have without relating to creation through love. My beliefs eventually led me to seminary training and ordination as a mainstream Christian clergyman. And to the honor of serving this awesome church here in Mount Vernon, Ohio, where the steadfast love of God has long been proclaimed and followed in word and deed. We started in 1834 as an anti-slavery church. We've been passionately working on justice issues ever since. And here's the thing, the steadfast love of God stuff is good news for everyone, whether you go to church or not. Steadfast means unwavering and fixed. And the Bible calls it steadfast love a ton of times. I mean, a bunch of times. And for good measure, as that it endures forever. And this literally means that whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you are unwaveringly loved right now and forever by God. No one can take that truth away from you. And if, like me, you wandered away from church and are fortunate enough to go back and find a love-centered church, there's a lot of them out there, that truth of enduring, steadfast love can transform and save you and the world from what might otherwise be. That's my vlog for today. Thank you for joining me. Please go in peace, knowing that you are loved and that you matter much.